Ethan Cross had been working on Deep Space Station Meridian for 6 months, and he developed a comfortable routine. Maintain the life support systems, keep the power distribution networks running efficiently, and have regular coffee with Lyra and Keira in the station's common area. The twin Vel'kari sisters worked in administrative logistics, coordinating vessel traffic and cargo management. They were identical in appearance, tall, with distinctive pointed ears and deep purple skin, moving with the unconscious grace that came from Vel'kari physical training. But their personalities were distinct. Lyra was outgoing and direct, while Keira was quieter and more observant. Ethan enjoyed their company. The conversations were easy, ranging from work complaints to cultural observations about the various species passing through the station. It was friendly but not romantic, at least from Ethan's perspective. One day, during their regular coffee session, Lyra mentioned that several human crew members had recently partnered up, creating complicated scheduling situations. Humans seem to form pair bonds very quickly, Lyra observed. Is this common for your species? It varies, Ethan replied. Some partner quickly, some take years, some prefer to stay single. We don't have universal patterns. And you, Keira asked, her tone curious but casual. What is your preference? Ethan shrugged. I'm single, have been for a while, not really looking for anything serious. Work keeps me busy enough. It was meant as casual statement, maybe slight humor about being married to his job. But the moment the words left his mouth, both sisters went absolutely still. The change was immediate and startling. From relaxed conversation to laser-focused attention that made Ethan acutely aware he just said something significant without realizing it. You declare yourself unbound, Lyra said, her voice taking on a formal quality Ethan had never heard before. In our presence, knowing we are bonded twins. Ethan, do you understand what you have just done? I said I'm single. I don't understand. Did I say something offensive? Not offensive, Keira said quietly, her eyes locked on Ethan with uncomfortable intensity. Significant. In Vel'kari culture, when bonded twins, sisters who share life bond and who seek partnership together, encounter someone who declares themselves unbound in their presence, it is recognized as consent to evaluation, as invitation to be considered as potential lifelong partner to both. What? No, I was just answering a question about my relationship status. I wasn't inviting anything. The declaration is the invitation, Lyra interrupted gently but firmly. Whether you intended it as such or not, you have stated that you are unbound. You are in our presence. You know we are twins. By Vel'kari custom, you have opened yourself to our evaluation as potential partner. We are obligated to pursue that evaluation until completion. I can just take it back, say I didn't mean it that way. You cannot unsay what has been said. The declaration exists. We heard it. Keira gestured subtly to the common area where other station personnel were present, some of whom were Vel'kari and were now watching with visible interest. The custom is known. We must now pursue evaluation or formally decline you as unworthy, which would be grave insult. We do not wish to insult you. Therefore, we must pursue evaluation. Ethan was beginning to realize he'd accidentally triggered some cultural protocol he had zero knowledge of. What does evaluation mean? It means we assess whether you are suitable as lifelong partner for both of us, Lyra explained. Whether you understand twin bond culture, whether you are compatible with both of us, whether you can integrate into the partnership structure we seek. It means we spend extensive time with you, weeks, possibly months, learning whether the three of us could build life together. And I'm just required to participate. You are considered claimed for evaluation by Vel'kari custom, Keira said. You are expected to make yourself available for time with us, to participate honestly, to consider seriously whether partnership with us is something you could accept. And if I refuse, then you are formally declaring us unworthy despite your initial invitation. That is severe insult that would damage our standing and create significant professional complications. Lyra's tone was matter of fact. We do not believe you wish to cause such damage. Ethan sat back, trying to process this. He'd made a casual comment about being single and somehow triggered a cultural protocol that was now binding him to an extended evaluation with two alien women who saw him as potential lifelong partner. This is insane. This is custom, Keira corrected gently. And you are caught in it now, whether you intended to be or not. Over the next few days, Ethan researched Vel'kari twin bond culture. What he learned was both fascinating and concerning. Vel'kari twins who maintained close bonds into adulthood often chose to seek partnership together, finding a single mate who could build relationships with both sisters simultaneously. The cultural logic was about preserving the twin bond rather than weakening it through separate partnerships. The unbound declaration custom existed because openly stating availability in the presence of bonded twins was considered implicit consent to evaluation. The reasoning: if you were truly uninterested, you wouldn't mention your availability at all. Ethan found this logic baffling from a human perspective, but he was learning that casual conversation to him could be formal declaration in Vel'kari contexts. The evaluation process was extensive. Lyra and Keira now spent significant time with him, formal evaluation activities that included shared meals, cultural exchange conversations, and detailed questions about his values and life goals. "Do you understand the nature of twin bond partnership?" Lyra asked during one session. "That you would not be choosing between us but committing to both equally. That our bond as sisters is primary, and your role would be to enhance that bond." "I'm starting to understand the theory," Ethan replied carefully, "but I'm not sure how it works practically." "It requires balance and honesty," Keira explained. "You would have relationship with me, relationship with Lyra, and relationship with us as a unit. We would have our twin bond, our individual connections with you, and our collective partnership. It is complex, but not impossible if all parties commit to maintaining balance." Despite his initial panic, Ethan found himself genuinely engaging with these conversations. Lyra and Keira were intelligent and thoughtful, and surprisingly easy to talk to once he moved past his panic about being claimed. He learned they'd been seeking partnership for years, but hadn't found someone compatible. Most Vel'kari men interested in twin bond partnerships were either intimidated by the complexity or attracted to novelty, rather than genuinely committed to both sisters equally. "Why focus on me?" Ethan asked. "You must have other options." "We have known you for months," Lyra said. "We have observed how you treat people with respect and genuine interest. We have seen that you are reliable, that you think before acting, that you value honest communication. These are qualities we seek. And when you declared yourself unbound," Keira added, "we recognized opportunity. You opened door, intentionally or not, and we chose to walk through it." "I didn't intend to open any door." "We know, but sometimes the most significant opportunities come from unintended actions. We could have declined you immediately. We chose not to because we are genuinely interested in discovering whether you could be the partner we have sought." Ethan realized that despite the bizarre circumstances, he wasn't actually opposed to spending time with them. What bothered him was the lack of choice, the feeling of being trapped by cultural protocol he never agreed to follow. 3 weeks into the evaluation, Ethan finally voiced his primary frustration. "I understand why this matters to you culturally, but from my perspective, I made a casual comment, and suddenly I'm in an evaluation I never consented to, with the threat that refusing would insult you and damage our professional relationships. That's not choice, that's coercion." The sisters were quiet. Then Keira spoke. "You are correct. From your cultural perspective, this is coercion. We have been operating within our framework without adequately considering yours. That is our failing, and we apologize." "We cannot undo the custom," Lyra added. Your declaration was witnessed, and our obligation exists. But we can acknowledge that forcing you to participate under threat is not how we want to build potential partnership. So what changes? Ethan asked. We release you from the obligation, Keira said. We will continue the evaluation in name only to satisfy custom, but you are free to disengage emotionally. We will complete the minimum required time, conclude as incompatible, and you will be free without consequence. That's what you want. That is what we are offering you, escape from coercion. Lyra's expression was difficult to read. It is not what we want. We want genuine evaluation, but we want your willing participation more than forced compliance. Ethan sat with this. They were giving him an out, he should take it. But something had shifted over the past 3 weeks. What if I don't want the fake evaluation? Ethan said quietly. What if I want to continue genuine exploration, but on terms that feel less like obligation and more like choice? Both sisters' attention sharpened. I want to reset this, Ethan continued. Instead of evaluation I'm obligated to participate in, make it getting to know each other to see if there's compatibility. Let me choose to spend time with you rather than feeling trapped. Give me agency in this process. You want to transform obligated evaluation into voluntary courtship, Keira said. Yes, exactly. I want to choose to be here. That would require abandoning some formal structure, Lyra observed. Operating outside strict custom. I'm human, you're Vel'kari. Whatever we build was going to be hybrid anyway. Why not intentionally create something that respects both our cultural contexts? The sisters exchanged their characteristic silent communication. Then Keira spoke. We accept. We reset our approach. We invite you to spend time with us voluntarily, to explore compatibility, to choose to be here. We release you from coercion and offer you freedom of genuine courtship. Thank you, Ethan said, for understanding that I needed agency, not just participation. Over the following weeks, the dynamic shifted significantly. Without pressure of formal evaluation, Ethan found himself actually enjoying time with Lyra and Keira. The relationship developed naturally, conversations ranging from serious to playful, gradual building of genuine connection. 2 months after the accidental declaration, they were spending most of their free time together. What had started as bizarre cultural entanglement had developed into something genuine. 6 months later, Ethan had effectively moved into their quarters. It wasn't formal partnership yet, but practically, they were functioning as a unit. 1 year after Ethan jokingly said, I'm single, they formally declared permanent partnership in a ceremony blending Vel'kari tradition with human elements. Ethan spoke the traditional commitment. I accept the honored role of balancing third. I commit to both of you equally, to respect your twin bond while building individual connection with each of you. I pledge lifelong partnership. When asked about their unusual beginning, Ethan says, I jokingly said I was single, and the twin sisters took it as formal declaration according to their customs. What started as cultural misunderstanding became genuine exploration, and eventually became permanent partnership. Sometimes the most significant relationships begin with complete accidents. Lyra and Keira add, he triggered a valuation custom he didn't understand, but rather than forcing him through our protocols, we created something hybrid, relationship honoring both tradition and his need for choice. He became our partner not because custom demanded it, but because he chose it. The story becomes legend on the station, told as both cautionary tale about cultural ignorance and romantic story about how genuine connection can emerge from unlikely circumstances. Sometimes the most meaningful partnerships begin with complete accidents. Ethan had jokingly declared himself single. The sisters wouldn't let him leave until they'd evaluated him. And from that bizarre beginning, they built partnership that honored both his need for choice and their cultural traditions, proving that even accidental declarations can become foundation for genuine commitment when people choose to build something valuable from unexpected circumstances.